Oh, okay, cool. I gotta remember to mute myself.
You guys see my screen now?
Yep.
Yep.
Hi, Shelly.
Hi, Becca.
This graphic is a little bit light. They put it on a white background, so we're gonna work through it. Shelly, I don't know if your computer will allow you to record this, but if it does,
it's recording.
Oh, awesome.
Did you start at 8 or did you guys start early?
No, I opened it up a little early, but
okay.
I haven't started anything.
All right, no, we're recording right now.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna get started, and so we'll be able to tell people to go to I don't know if it has a timestamp on it. Anyways, all right, we're gonna get started because I promised people I'd be done in half an hour. So, Becca, since you're the only one on this call, I want to make sure I'm not giving you information you already have. What or how comfortable are you with this particular WILE bonus structure? Is this all kind of brand new? Like you haven't had somebody kind of walk you through this at all?
So I think I understand it. But sometimes if I start thinking about it too much, then I'm kind of get myself confused.
So you're comfortable if I start from the beginning?
Yeah, that's totally fine if you want to start from the beginning. Because I have a few people for the lower ranks as well that it would make more sense for me.
Might help you. Perfect. All right. So this is the new WILE bonus structure, and it is replacing the Rising Star bonus structure and the executive into silver and 4 bonuses as well. And they've simplified it. So they're trying to combine strategy and bonuses all in one. So we all have the opportunity, I shouldn't say we all, but if you are a distributor right now, you have the opportunity to get a $50 bonus for hitting star in 2 months, a $250 bonus for then hitting senior star within 3 months, $500 to hit executive from senior star in 3 months, and then another $1,500 if once you hit executive, you get to silver in 4 months. Now looking at this, it can seem pretty aggressive, but once we start breaking it down, I think you guys will all find that it is actually doable. It's just a matter of being sure you're consistent. It's a word that we hear super often, right? So in order to get the $50 bonus, you're starting as a distributor. You have 2 months to hit the rank of star, but you also have to have 2 legs at 200. So that means, this is the very top graphic, that means you have a 100 PV order, and then you have 2 legs at 200 PV. Now, a leg does not start until someone orders 100 PV. So if you enroll your mom, she doesn't order, and you have 2 people underneath her by starter kits, it's going to look like you have a 200 PV leg, but you don't actually for this bonus structure unless it's starting with 100 PV. So it can start in your downline 2 at 100 PV, but you can't have somebody showing a 0 or less than 100 PV and then expect all of the volume underneath them to roll up and count as a leg. Does that make sense to you guys? Makes sense. Okay. So to get the $250 bonus, once you hit star, you have 3 months to get to senior star with 2 legs at 500. So these graphics are actually really well laid out. I like how this person did this. So you need 2,000 OGV as a whole, but you need 2 legs with 500 OGV each. For the third bonus, to get $500, you have 3 months once you hit senior star to get to executive. So that's 4,000 OGV overall. And then you've got 3 legs going now. So 2 of those legs have to be at 1,000, and then your third one has to be at 500. So what this is doing is setting you up to rank quickly and to get to silver faster. Our old bonus structure had us trying to build to 6 legs right away. This new bonus structure is having us focus on the legs that we need in order to hit silver quickly. the fourth bonus, the largest one, $1,500. So once you hit executive, you have 4 months to get to silver. Silver bonus is paid out if you hit 10,000 OGV, and then you have 3 legs at this point. 2 of them have to be at 4,000 OGV, with the third at 1,000. Sorry, can't see. So you have, if you're starting at distributor right now, you have the opportunity to earn $2,350, which is a large chunk of money. So this is very exciting. I really like the concept of this. A couple of things to note. Just because you miss one doesn't mean you become unqualified to hit the others. So let's say you hit your star bonus, you get $50, but then it takes you a year to hit senior star. You can still go for that senior to executive bonus and earn your $500. So any type of thing like that, if you miss one, it's okay. Once you hit that next rank, you start over and you can work towards the next bonus. Point number 2, Young Living is giving us a huge gift in that on April 1st, we get to start at our highest rank achieved. And so what that means is if you've been sitting at senior star for a year and a half, you're starting at senior star and you have 3 months to get from senior star to executive and earn that $500 bonus, which is huge. Like this is a refresh for a lot of us for a lot of reasons. So I highly encourage all of you guys, not only to understand this for yourself, but to understand it for your team, because $500 right now for a lot of people is huge and it can really benefit them. So in terms of this bonus structure, are there any questions? Does this make sense? Anything outstanding that you think needs to be clarified?
Hey, Elaine, I just want to double check that I'm understanding it right. So for me, my highest rank that I've hit is executive. So basically come April 1, I literally have 4 months to hit silver. And then if I don't get in that 4 months, then I'm pretty much kind of done out of the program.
You're done out of this silver bound.
Okay.
They have a bridge to gold now, though, so I don't know if you saw that.
I did see something about
there's
that.
A bridge to gold. So there's a step between silver and gold that you're trying to achieve within 6 months,
Okay.
and that's an Aroma collection. So that's a pretty big deal. So I would say a lot of us, including myself, a lot of us have hit ranks or OGVs, right, and gone backwards just because of the way, not even necessarily as a result of effort that we've put in, but because of what the economy has kind of done in the last year. Some of it is for sure effort, but a result of spending and just kind of how things are going. So some of us are finding ourselves in situations where, yes, we are getting a chance to go for that next bonus, but we might be really far from that bonus, depending on how our team has gone. That's okay. It just means we're doubling down. What I'm encouraging people on my team to think about is, because we talk a lot about action steps, and we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight and what that means, like how many classes you need to be hosting, how many people you need to be enrolling. And based on the amount of time somebody can dedicate to their business, sometimes we know that it's maybe not super realistic for them to go from executive to silver in 4 months. And so what we do with these things is we say, okay, you personally may not qualify for something, but how many people on your team can, right? So let's find a goal there, right? So that you help somebody get that star bonus or get that senior bonus. It's ultimately helping your team grow. Your commissions are going to go up. You may not get one of these awesome bonuses, but they will. And it'll be as a result of the work that you kind of pour into them, and you're going to feel good about that no matter what. So use it to your advantage no matter what, even if it doesn't mean a monetary paycheck for you in the form of a bonus. Other questions, Becca?
nope, I'm good at the moment. And I completely agree with you on like helping my team, my builders get their bonuses. That was my first thought before mine, because I was like, oh, they have better chance of getting it than I do. So
Yeah. And, you know, to help somebody, especially if there's a couple people working towards getting someone to senior star, right? Totally a doable thing for people to get that $50 and then $250 bonus. So for the second half of this class, I wanted to break this down a little for you guys, because a lot of people aren't numbers people, and I am a numbers person, and I love numbers and breaking things down. So we're going to talk in terms of stars, right? And what it takes in terms of action steps and what it takes for consistency over the course of a couple of months to build a star. Because once you have that foundational knowledge, all you're doing in all of these other steps are building more stars. So once you understand what it takes to help someone get to star, to build them to star so that they're hitting star based on ER orders and not necessarily new enrollees, right? It's that same block of steps that you're just repeating over and over and over again. So if we look at building a star, right? We're a distributor, we have our kit. Let's say nobody else is on your team. We're going to start there. So you personally should be on Essential Rewards. If you're building a business, if you have jumped into this lifestyle, a 100 PV ER order every single month is needed, right? That's what we need to earn our full commissions. It's truly what you need. Like, it's hard to spend less than that and like support a family with this lifestyle, honestly. So that's your step number one, personal order of 100 PV on ER. Then what we're going to talk about are 4 action steps. So I define an action step as anything that results in a 100 PV order. So that can be a new member, it can be an existing member on ER, it can be a quick order, but I break them down into 100 PV orders because a lot of times we see average orders around 100 PV. So I'm looking historically across Stand Living, my team, we typically see average orders around 100. Sometimes they're a little higher, sometimes they're a little lower, but we're talking averages. So 4 action steps, 4 different people ordering 100 PV. So what could this look like? In my experience, the easiest way to do this in 1 month is to find 2 people that are truly interested in learning about oils, that you've been engaging with, that you've been talking to, and ask them to host a class. If you have 2 hosts that are engaged and they invite 3 friends, my experience has been that the hosts enroll and that at least one of those 3 friends enroll. So my personal experience number-wise, if I'm talking to people in person, is about 1 in 3 people end up getting a starter kit. So we have our host and we have one of their friends enroll, and we do 2 classes in 1 month. That right there with your 100 PV order gets you that star bonus in 1 month. Now, what I'm going to say is that you don't just do that for 1 month. We do that month 1. You end up getting your star bonus. You end up with 4 new members on your team. And then you do the same thing month 2, right? So does it get a little bit harder? Maybe, right? Finding 2 more hosts that are really engaged with you and asking them to find 3 friends that are interested in doing the exact same thing month 2. Yep, may not be as easy as month 1, but we want to do it month 2 as well. Now, what you need to remember, this is great, you can't forget about your month 1 people, right? So you need to figure out a really good follow-up method with them, and you need to figure out how you're going to continue to educate people that you enroll as new member, because our goal here, right, is not to just enroll 4 new people a month, right? Our goal is to continuously enroll and get people on Essential Rewards. So month 1, 2 hosts. We're asking them to find 3 friends that are interested. We're enrolling 4 people. Month 2, we're doing the same thing. Month 3, you're going to do the same thing again. And as long as you consistently do this 3 months in a row, and if you're brand new, right, you may not get the same results right away. It may take some practice, right? Work on the closing of the classes, work on your language with your leaders. At the end of 3 months, right, we're following averages, you right here could have 12 new members. Now, if we look at average ER rates across Young Living, it's about 1 in 3 people, about 33%. So at the end of 12 months, you have 12 members. We know that our average check size is about 100 PV, and we know that about 1/3 of people enroll on Essential Rewards. So at the end of 3 months, you are hitting star consistently with ER orders. So if at that point you stopped enrolling people, you would just managing the people on your team, making sure they're taken care of, right? Because people will fall off of ER if they don't fully engage in the lifestyle. You continue to hit star month over month because of your ER orders. Now, everyone's results are going to be different, right? Not everybody that hosts 2 classes a month are necessarily going to be able to enroll 4 people. Not everybody's average check size is going to be around 100. Not everybody's ER percentage is going to be 30%. You can do better with those numbers and you can do worse. So I'm talking averages. In my experience, the first 3 months that I did this, I did kind of follow this pattern, and I ended up at Senior Star because I had people that were ordering very large PV orders. So my average check was very high because a lot of the people that were close to me initially jumped right on board getting those 300 PV freebies. So 12 members could mean Senior Star, but based on averages, we're building stars. Now, what gets tricky about this? Because we built a star, that's exciting, but now what do we have to do to get to Senior Star? We gotta do it 3 more times. And if we do that 3 more times, we're going to hit Senior Star. Now, what's tricky about this bonus structure is not only do we have to do it 3 more times, but we only have 3 months to do it. So that means if we're following the same averages, that you are not only hosting 2 classes with engaged hosts and 3 other members a month, but you're hosting 6 classes. And when I say you, that means your team. So if you have another builder on your team with you and they're doing 2, that means you do 4, right? We're talking team members, but you have to do a lot more to get to the next rank in that amount of time. So this isn't to scare you, right? This is to show you that consistent work over time pays off, and those numbers might be adjusted, right? You might have really high average check, you might have a higher ER order percentage, right? And so you might be able to adjust the number of classes that you're doing month over month. It's about finding that consistency and doing it month over month over month. And as your team grows, right, you're educating them on ER, you're also educating people about the business. And hopefully by the time you're senior, certainly by the time you get into that executive range, hopefully you have a builder or 2, right, who are willing to not only be trained as a leader, but go out and host classes with you, right? So that team number of 6 classes a month doesn't become so daunting, right? Can one person do that? Absolutely. Is it going to be easier if there are 2 of you doing that and you're splitting that? Yes. So looking at numbers, star, right? 2 classes a month, kind of following the numbers that I talked about. Senior Star, right? We're looking at trying to build 4 stars there. So we're talking about building 3 more stars once you hit star. So that's 6 classes a month. Once you hit senior, you're trying to get to executive, right? So you need to build another 4 stars. You want 8 stars total on your team if you're going to be an executive, right? So we're talking another, that's 8 classes at that point a month, right? So as you can see, the number of classes that you want to be doing month over month consistently keeps going up and up, right? So you want help. You want to find people that you can engage to help you do classes. Because when I look at my team and my goals, it's like, oh, you got to do like 20 classes a month. And I'm like, well, I do not have time to do 20 classes a month, but I have time to do 8 maybe, right? So now my goal is to find either 12 other people that will host 1 or 6 people that will do 2, right? And it's about breaking it down into those small chunks so that you can understand how to actually go about this in an incremental way. But start with that 1 star. Figure out your system to build a star. Figure out what that takes for you, right? Maybe it's 1 class. Just looking at averages though, my recommendation is 2 classes. Figure out where your average check lands. Maybe you have people ordering 300 PV at a time and your average check is a lot higher than 100, right? So it's about taking those numbers and playing with them to find where your sweet spot for your team is, right? And consistently making sure those classes are scheduled month over month as a team. I know that can be confusing. I really love this stuff. So if we have a specific scenario we want to walk through, either of you guys do, let's talk through it so that we have a real life example to go through. Because me talking about averages may cause some people to completely tune out. So Becca, do we want to try to break down your team and what that might look like?
No, I think I'm okay. I've got several people who will be going for star. One of my legs is actually Scott's leg. So obviously I got to do the teaching on that one. But I think I'm okay. I think I'm squared away. Okay. It's just trying to keep them motivated. And they tell me all the time, oh, I want to do this, and I'm not seeing the action to back it up. So I don't know. I do have one builder who is excited and is backing up her actions right now. So we're getting started with her right now.
Yep, and I would say, right, we can't make people do anything, right? We just can't. In this environment, it's also a little bit harder because people are in almost a state of panic, right? Like their focus isn't on anything other than their immediate family and what's going on in their household right now. So there's always going to be that struggle, right? I'm very open and honest with the people that tell me they want to do something, and that is, hey, if you tell me this, I'm going to follow up with you. Like, I'm going to hold you accountable. If you tell me this is not for you, like, I'm not going to pester you about doing something. But if you're telling me that you have interest in building a business, then you're going to hear from me weekly, and I'm going to say, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing to move this forward? And typically, I mean, for those that are truly engaged, like sometimes they are like, nothing. I did nothing this week. I couldn't. But it kind of gives them that reset. And I'm like, okay, well, what are we doing next week? And we really focus on scheduling the next month out, right? So in March, we're talking about April. In my mind, if March isn't planned, it's going to be very hard to successfully schedule events to get them in their calendar, let alone other people's calendars. And so we're always talking the next month. And by doing that, one, it gives people a little bit of breathing room. I think it makes them relax a little bit about scheduling stuff for themselves because their calendar is not so crowded. But two, it commits them to building this business and to doing the things that they've scheduled for another 6 to 8 weeks out, right? So it's much harder to just stop working because typically, even if they get down or we get frustrated or we have those days where we want to quit, typically in that 6 to 8 week time frame, we can pull them back out and get them excited again and get them scheduling for the following month, right? So it gives us some of that play time to push ourselves through those moments of, I want to call them weakness, because they're moments of weakness for me, but it may not be that for everyone else.
Well, and Becca, also just to piggyback on that, I always talk about the income disclosure because what I have found is people who are not getting the paycheck and are not seeing the financial gain are the ones that are not going to be motivated. So, and I know it's kind of cliche, the people who are like, well, I'm okay to build really slow are the ones that quit every single time. Because after, they've worked on their business for 2 years, 6 months, 10 days, whatever it is, they aren't getting that tangible paycheck. So I would just, one of the things that we talk about a lot and I talk to people a lot about is like when they're starting to get like kind of curious or frustrated or whatever, I'm like, go look at the income disclosure. Remember like what it is you want, because whether we all want it to or not, every single person here has a monetary goal, just being realistic. So like I love the way Elaine approaches it and with the schedule, because it really does, she has people that are still hosting classes and it really does work. And then just to piggyback that is look at the income disclosure. Like what do you want to do to change your life? Because that tends to give them like that hope.
And I think this bonus structure, right, is a really fun way that we can help them kind of engage in not only building, but building with purpose, right? Meaning like, okay, we want to get you to star. We want to do it in 2 months. And this is what we need to do. Or you want an extra $250? Like, is it worth it to do X amount of work in the next 3 months? And I think when people, with the Rising Star bonus, it was really kind of complicated for them to understand. And it was in chunks of $40 to $50. And so it was kind of broken up and it wasn't as impactful to most people, even though over the course of 2 years, you could certainly earn just as much money. But when you say to somebody, hey, you know what, we're working towards $1,500 now. It's something very tangible and concrete that they can see. Even though honestly, going from executive to silver, the jump in income alone is worth it, but you don't see that. That's not the visual that people have in their mind. So for us to be able to now say, hey, $1,500, like this is what you're working for. Is it worth it to make sure you're, dedicating 10 hours a week to your business? Because I mean, $1,500.
And I love how this keeps people narrow. I know so many people who, because they didn't understand Rising Star, built 10, 12 wide, and they have no chance at building a team, and they haven't gone past Star or Senior Star. So, and this is something, when you guys are talking to your people, you can look at and be like, look, you build 3, now how many Senior Stars and stars underneath there can you get to help them get their bonus? Because I always turn it around.
We want to get to silver quickly, because really, truly, like that's where the income becomes impactful. Like it would be very hard for me to walk away from this at this point. Like, and not because I need the income, but because you can do so much with the income at that level, whether you need it or not. The amount of change that you can push forward, the amount of college you can pay for, the number of years you can take off your mortgage by paying it down faster, like it's so much more impactful. And so it's, in my opinion, would be very difficult for someone to get to silver and be like, oh, sorry, this isn't worth it. So we're trying to get them there faster with this structure.
My income from executive to silver more than doubled, guys. So sliding back to executive, it really hurt.
Yeah.
More than doubled.
Yeah. So the funny thing with the Rising Star bonus, I actually have been getting it every month for a while, and at first I was like, no, they're getting rid of it because I kind of like that extra $50. But this actually, I think this will give the boost that my team needs to kind of get motivated to reach their goals again. And I was actually kind of thinking I'm going to work on it. Oops, sorry. I was going to work on it tomorrow about seeing who, even local people, if they want to host a virtual class and send samples to them, like with the Your Essentials class. Because I have a lot of people here that say, oh, I want them, but never commit. But I think since life is being forced to slow down, maybe they'd be more willing to invite people, and I'll mail them the samples from my house, like, so I don't have to like come in contact with them and whatnot. It's a whole social distancing mess. But so I think I'm gonna work on that tomorrow and see who I can get, even just in my local people, see who would be willing to host a virtual class, and go that route right now.
Yep, and we're about to start the silver call, but I think that we're gonna have a lot more online classes too that you guys can invite to. So like I have an online intro coming up, Becca, too. So anybody that wants to can be inviting people to these classes. There's a Thieves class that Shally's doing that we are opening up to everyone, right? So we're giving you guys resources, and we're not all having to do the same work over and over again, right? Giving you guys the online platform to talk to people. So hopefully we see more of that through April and into May if we have to. In person is always better. I am hands down a huge supporter of sitting in front of 3 people, but we do what we can do. Shally goes, but when I do 4 classes in a weekend and we enroll 10 people, she doesn't hate it. So. Any other questions? If not, I'll let you guys all go and digest.
Nope, I'm good. Thank you for taking the time to share it with me, Elaine. And you too, Shally. I appreciate it.
I love talking numbers. I just probably always confuse people, but I'm here to unconfuse if I need to. So
nope, I think I'm tracking right now, so I'm pretty good. If not, I'll message you and I'll be like, okay, I confused myself again.
It's all good. You too, Ashley. You know how to find me.
All right. Good night,
I'll talk
guys.
to you guys later.
Bye, y'all.